This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity Podcast. Today's discussion is resilience plus 7 other quick notes. So bear with me. I'll go through resilience first. Resilience is this concept that as you get older, you end up with more and more surgeries, which is not fun and part of the aging process. Now, the concept is, instead of viewing these as a negative and a setback, you have to view these surgeries as a chance to reset and get yourself refocused and recentered and keep yourself as healthy as possible during that recovery period from whatever surgery it is. It's one of those years where I've avoided this my entire life, then promptly hit a special birthday and constantly seeming to have surgeries. And it's just this constant concept of resilience and resetting and reflowing, I think, is an important life reminder to keep one positive and to keep on moving in the right direction, which we see ourselves doing. Second, and here's one of the 7 quick notes. Second, I was so sorry because I've got to have this retinal surgery tomorrow to have to miss the chance to go give a keynote speech at the Mazama Spine Institute in Washington State. And that's a conference, put on really by Dr. Richard Wones, who's one of the best in the business, just as good as they come. Third thing I'll note today, the stock market relatively flat today, a little up, a little down, but not really finding direction yet. We'll see how that plays out tomorrow. Fourth, NVIDIA dropping again today, down about $400 billion over the last several days. We've covered that some already, but fascinating to watch. Fifth, so thrilled to get a chance to speak to Rick Kess of RSM on the Becker Private Equity Podcast, just a constant regular guest and just fantastic. We also had a chance to speak to Bruce Elegant, former CEO of Rush Oak Park, also a great speaker and a pleasure to visit with Bruce Elegant, just fantastic. Another story that we're following today is Tesla bounces back some, something that we hadn't seen coming, but it's back up again today and now down only about 22% year to date. If you talk about resilience, that Elon Musk has got it, as does Apple, which is back to about 3.3 trillion in market cap. Talk about great resiliency that I can only sort of marvel at. Tesla, Elon Musk, Apple, just constantly resilient and moving back in the right direction. Finally, the last story we're following today, or really 2 of them, is Bitcoin back down to 61,000. I remember when I invested in Bitcoin on a whim, which is a very stupid way to invest, it promptly went down, lost 78% of my investment. I just took the tax losses on it, then, of course, sold promptly without thinking about it, and now it's way back up from there. But it's fallen about 10,000 over the last month or 2, so back to about 61,000. Finally, lastly, and it's a campaign issue, it's an exciting issue, is oil is back into the 80s, $80 a gallon. It means when you go to fill up, depending on the size of car, you're paying, depending what state you're in, the taxes there, you're paying $4 or $5 a gallon, but just very expensive. And I guess I'll finally note as a PS, Janet Yellen, our Treasury Secretary, said that she doesn't see a recession coming. And I think that's sort of a joke of a statement, because when you're doing deficit spending of about $2 trillion a year, if you end up with a recession and you're doing $2 trillion a year in deficit spending, you are a complete moron. And we're almost there. $2 trillion in deficit spending. We've got about a 1 to 2% growth, growth in our GDP. That's absolutely sort of gross national product, gross domestic product, just absolutely horrendous. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. I hope I didn't speak too quickly. If you have any comments, any thoughts, contact me, Scott Becker, 773-766-5322. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast.